Is it even worth it to continue posting on social media if no one is actively liking or engaging with your content? Picture this. You finally muster up the courage to hit publish on that post that you've been sitting on. And an hour or two rolls by and a few likes roll in. One of them's your mom. At that moment, you start to question, is this right for me? Should I be spending my time doing this? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And today we're going to unpack why engagement on social media doesn't always mean progress or dollars in your bank account. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Larry. I've been working in social media marketing and management and marketing in general for the past 10 years. And so trust me when I let you know that as you embark on your journey into social media, whether you are a veteran creator or a new business owner or someone who's been around the block a couple times, nowadays it feels really difficult to get started on social media for some people. For others, it seems seamless and they can easily garner attention and get the likes and the comments and all of the things that we in the business consider vanity metrics. And while they do play a part in an overall marketing strategy and everything has its place, I truly believe that. I want to assure you that if you're not getting a ton of likes or engagement, that doesn't necessarily mean that your content is not working. I have worked with several clients across all kinds of different industries, and I can tell you that there are clients who received a ton of engagement and sold nothing. And I've also had clients who received very little engagement and have made a ton of money off of the things that you cannot see behind the scenes. So the first point I want to talk about in this entire thing is that engagement and vanity metrics do not equal success or money. Too many times we look at what we can only see. And if we see a creator or a business receive a ton of likes, engagement, comments, it looks like they're doing very well. It appears that their content is resonating and the people in the comments must be buying. That's not necessarily true. One of the things that I preach and teach a lot of people is that going viral isn't always the best thing for your business. One of the stories that I love to tell over and over and over again is that if you're not ready for that viral success, then it means nothing. I had a friend who literally went viral with one of his posts on TikTok. It got picked up by BuzzFeed when that was a thing. It got picked up and shared all across a bunch of blogs. He received a ton of orders, but he was a brand new business. He didn't have a bunch of systems in place. He didn't have everything locked in and squared away on the back end. And so he got backed up with orders. People became frustrated. He was not ready for the virality. On the other hand, there are people who go viral with nothing to sell. And so I've heard stories of people who get all this attention and all these comments and then lose momentum because they don't have anything to offer. The reason that they're called vanity metrics is because it's vain. Having a bunch of likes or followers or comments does not always equal dollars or sales on the back end. So be wary of that. What we're looking for and what we try to create is community, consistency. We want to show up consistently. We want to talk about the same things. We want to give people solutions to their problems. And in turn, you will find a steady, small community of people who continue to engage with you online. This is exactly what we're looking for. We're not looking to garner a ton of attention from a ton of different people who aren't the right customer market fit, who don't really care about you or your product. They only care about the thing that went viral. These are the things that we're not trying to pay attention to. So while likes and comments and engagement and all of those things are nice and they make us feel good, they really provide that dopamine hit. Remember that it's not always equal to dollars. The next thing that happens to a lot of people is they're not consistent. And consistency is not perfection. Consistency is not, I have to show up every single day in the feed, in Reels, on store. Like that is one way ticket to burnout. unless that's something that you really enjoy. It's not something I personally enjoy. It's not something I recommend to my clients or people that I work with. What we're looking for is consistency. So whether that is I'm going to show up on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the feed, and I'm going to show up on Tuesdays and Thursdays on stories, or whatever variation of posting schedule that looks like. However, I think it's really difficult, and I don't think it's the smartest decision for people to just commit to something without testing. I believe that everything needs to go through a testing phase. And so when I onboard my clients, we go through a 90-day testing phase of what consistency looks like. Are you able to create content consistently? Whether that's you're creating it and sending it to me to help you, whether we're up with ideas together, or whether I'm the one crafting and creating everything consistently. We need to find a schedule that works for all of us and that works for publishing so that you can show up when you say you're going to show up, or your audience can begin to expect you. After that 90-day period, we come up with a consistent cadence of what types of content are we posting? What does this look like? When can our audience expect us? Do we do better in the mornings or the evenings? All of these things play a role in your ability to continue to show up the way that you need to. Once we're done with that initial 90-day period, we enter a second 90-day period where we focus on showing up in the main consistency that we know works for us. All right, looks like I have to pause here because my baby woke up. All right, baby is fed and we are back. So we've talked about engagement not equaling success or dollars, and we've also talked about that 90-day consistency and what that should look like. The next thing that I want everyone to pay attention to whenever they're analyzing their social media efforts in marketing, and I tell all of my clients this upfront, is most of your big sales, big wins, big conversations are things that will happen off platform. Most of the efforts of modern social media marketing companies, agencies, what have you, is to generate the interest on platform so that you can create the opportunities, values, and conversions off platform. What a lot of business owners and creators don't understand and don't realize when they're just getting started is that all of the big wins happen off platform, whether the initial contact happens on platform or not. One of my main examples is that for my main YouTube channel, I receive a fair amount of outreach of businesses and companies that want to work with me, send me product, have me make a video about it, talk about it. None of those businesses leave comments on my videos. None of them. Zero. Zilch. None of them leave comments on my Instagram or any of my other social media feeds. They just don't. They send me an email. No one would ever see that. And that's exactly how a lot of my opportunities come through. One of the companies I consistently work with and take pictures of their products, I don't believe they were following me when we had initial contact. It was an email. Some of the business opportunities that show up for me or people that are requesting my services don't follow me, don't like my stuff, don't leave comments. They just send the message. Or it happens organically outside of social media. And social media serves as a barrier of proof that I am who I am, I do what I say, and I can deliver results. A lot of the conversions are not going to happen depending on your service. A lot of those conversions are not going to happen on platform. And so the engagement metrics that people like to pay attention to, likes, comments, things like that, that other people can see, don't matter because the money is flowing in from those sales and those conversions, which happen off platform anyway. One final story is that it's the silent lurkers, the people who are just watching you and waiting for an opportunity that would be right for you are the ones that make the most difference. And that's happened to me as well. I have a client right now, and one of the ways that they found me was one, we just connected in person organically, but also they were watching and studying my social media accounts. They were paying attention to the things that I was talking about, the posts that I was making, the types of content that I could create that I was making for myself. Those are things that they were paying attention to. And when an opportunity presented itself for me to become a part of their team, for me to work with them in any capacity, they reached out to me because they knew the quality of my work, the consistency of what that looks like. I was able to get on the phone with them and tell them about the results I've been able to deliver for previous clients. All of those things added up. They weren't actively liking, engaging, and commenting with my pages. So it all goes back to being consistent and showing up consistently in quality and just like showing up because people are watching. And when an opportunity presents itself, when an opportunity in their organization or their business shows up, they may not be engaging, but they're watching you. And when an opportunity shows up, you should be the one that they think of and then the one that they contact. In that same vein, and I alluded to this in my previous story, is that social media should be a documentation. One of my favorite business people, entrepreneurs to follow is Gary Vee. And way back in the day, I'm talking like pre 2020, he really coined this saying, and it stuck with me ever since of document, not create. Your social media, especially if you are a personal brand or a business, should be to document what is happening in your business. Yes, every now and then it's fun to hop on trends and do fun things, but the majority of your content should be documenting your thought process, your clients, your service, your process. Not only is this great material for internal use if you are going to grow and scale, but it's also great resources and great testament and things to look at for future clients, for future customers. They can see the inner workings of your business. They can see how you communicate, how you think about things, how you put ideas out there, how you even talk to and treat clients and customers. I think that's a huge thing. One of the things that I'm getting comments on about the way that I run my social media from other people who I haven't even completely done business with, they're just watching and we're having conversations, is I like what so and so said about you that you posted. I like the way that you set up this shot. I like the way that this is written. I like the way that you deliver this information. I'm getting comments in real life, not necessarily on platform, about how my content is created, about my process, about what other people are saying about me. That is what's important. And they would never know that if I didn't document it and share those things. Another thing that I want to point out, and I had a conversation with someone very recently, and I was telling them about this whole document process. Documenting my journey, documenting how I live my life and how I'm navigating freelance and fatherhood and all of these different things is exactly what I need to be doing because other people can relate to that. As a new father, I am gravitating towards new fathers who are entrepreneurs or freelancers or business people. How are they managing their business? How are they navigating the time suck that is running a business, creating content while also juggling actually doing things that need to be done in a business and creating time for family? How is this working? How are they navigating these things? That's the type of content that I'm watching. And so I know for a fact that there are other new fathers out there who are watching me and seeing how I navigate all of these things because I'm their person. I think that's the other thing is like we get so caught up in the idea that we're not getting a ton of engagement and we're not getting a ton of views, but pay attention to the views that you are getting. You know, it only takes one new client to see you, and that client may be a big client. They may know someone who knows someone. Part of the reason I document my journey and share it, and one of the things that I talk about a lot is that the people who are watching me might not be my clients, but I bet they know my clients. I bet that they can make those introductions. I bet that they can put my name in a room that I'm not in right now. And none of that would happen if I wasn't consistently showing up and documenting my journey and my process and what I'm doing. The final thing that I want to leave you with is We get so caught up in the idea that, oh, 200 view jail. I keep hearing this. I'm stuck in 200 view jail. I'm stuck in 300 view jail. Have you ever been in a room full of 100 people and stood on stage and talked in front of them? If you're a new business owner or a new creator and you're not a public speaker and you haven't been in a play and you haven't been in an area or a room or arena full of 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people, that's 1,000 eyes, sets of eyes on you. That's 1,000 people who are watching you and listening to you. Hell, that's 50 people. Even talking to a room full of 50 people, that can be difficult for someone who's new to content creation or a business owner to grasp and understand. If you are not used to speaking to a ton of people at once, public speaking isn't your thing. Cherish those 50, those 100, those 200. Those are people, they may be your friends and family right now, but if you continue to consistently show up, you continue to provide value, you continue to do the things that you know you should be doing, and you work at getting better, you'll soon be able to stand in a room full of actual 50 people, actually 100 people, actually 200 people, and deliver your message so clearly, so concisely, so confidently that people will recognize that. And one of the things that sells more than anything is people and how you come across. And if you are confident, if you can talk with clarity, if you are used to speaking about what you do and how you do it and how you serve and the results, like if you can do all of those things confidently, you are more likely to be able to sell someone your product or service. So at the beginning of this episode, I posed the question, is it even worth it to post if no one is liking or engaging with your stuff? Obviously, the answer is yes. It is 1,000% worth it to show up consistently and confidently and get better at showing up online or in person if that's your thing. But yes, it is 1,000% worth it and beneficial to you, a content creator or a business owner or whatever you are, someone who wants to show up online. It's 1,000% worth it, even if it looks like no one is engaging with your stuff, because there are people watching. They're watching you, and you're going to show them whether or not you're someone who is consistent, who shows up, who is confident, who knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing, or you're going to show them that you're someone who falls off and isn't and can't show up in that way. I hope this message resonated with you. I hope that you learned something or took a valuable nugget from you. If you did, that's right. If you did and you're watching this on social media or YouTube, I would appreciate a thumbs up or a comment. Let me know your thoughts, what you're thinking. If you are listening to this, please consider leaving a review if it helped you. That's all I really ask. Thank you guys so much for watching/listening. My name is Larry G, and I have been your gracious host of the Keep Creating podcast. Until next time, remember to do the work, believe in yourself, but most importantly, keep creating. Peace.